alvindeleon back with another lesson here in YouTube. Yes. For those who don't know me, I'm a guitar teacher, guitarist, playing also live. I also do open mics. I play and perform solo, like gonna be this Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I have double gigs, as we call it here. I live in Prague, Czech Republic, and I'm doing live guitar solo lessons here, talking about solos and like this one. It's so good. Most of my viewers, I think, are like starting to do solos, working on solos. So I'm teaching like techniques and stuff, but most of the time theory. Okay, theory behind the solos, how to do solos. What if you create your own solo? This one is kind of difficult to do because it's like a popular solo. We have Tonix Barbazo. Hello, Mickey Misi. It's a popular solo. It's like it's our ears are used to it. But if you're going to like create your own solo, we'll talk about that. This one it's fairly easy because it's only using pentatonic scale. And what if we just create our own pentatonic solo with this one? Just to give you an idea. If you know the scales, and you know how to phrase, maybe. But let's say I'll just do something out of, pentatonic. Something like that. So I'm just playing like pentatonic notes on the fingerboard, just moving from fifth position, first position, second position, third position, and I finished on the fourth position. So just positions of the pentatonic, and bit of phrasing there. You can create your own solo, improvise, right? I'm just improvising on that one. And I got the idea from really studying the solo of this one, which is really good. The chord progression is quite easy. It's G, and then B minor, B minor, C, D, then G. Go back to A minor, and then goes to C, then C minor, G, E minor, C, D, and then G. So those are like relative chords. The only I think I can say borrowed chords there is not inside the G major scale. It's that C minor because we use that E flat. So if you follow that E flat and that C minor, it will sound really melodic because when it goes there, which I did earlier. Right? And that's the only I can say borrowed notes or borrowed chords there, the C minor. And when we say borrowed, because it's not inside the G major scale, so this is very important. I always talk about this one. In G major, we have G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay, there's no E flat there. So when something changes, like one chord, it's so good to follow that. Now, if you want to be safe with this one, you're using the pentatonic will also work when you're on that C minor. Right? If you use the pentatonic, you'll be safe. Okay? But if you really follow it, that E flat is really good to play. Okay? So those are the chords. Those are the notes. It's in G major scale. And if you want to do pentatonic, E minor pentatonic, and G major pentatonic, it's good. Okay? Let's try it again. In terms of sound, I'm using a Marshall amp. Okay, in terms of sound, I'm using a Marshall amp, reverb, delay for this one. 80s style setup. We have the cab simulator. I'm using a Friedman cab sim 4x12. I think is it 4 that? Oh yeah, 4x12. And that's about it. Okay, reverb, delay, compressor. I think I'm using a compressor now, just to have that sustain. Okay, I'm using it as a sustain. Marshall amp, Friedman 4x12, cab sim, and then I have a reverb, delay, and then a compressor. As simple as that. Nothing else. Okay? Is it? Oh, there's more. There's one more. Oh, the tube screamer. I'm sorry. Tube screamer set to 0. Okay. Double check. Yeah, that's about it. Okay? Cab sim, amp, drive, reverb, delay, and compressor. Okay? That's it. Let's go. Let's go. It started with this one. And all of those are notes of the G major. So we have G, B, and D. So the target notes when it started, G, D, G, D, and then G. So it's just G, D, and G. Alright? There's not even a B there, but there's a slide which is like that one. B. So really focusing on the G notes arpeggio, GBD. And that's a really good way of thinking about it when you're doing a solo. So if I'm going to create a solo on this one, maybe this is the G, 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 D, try to work on that arpeggios. And that's the target notes. That's the beauty of not just following like the tabs, numbers, and really looking at the notes that are used. Because if you understand that, you can use that on your own solo. G, D, G, D, right? So that D, G, G, D, G, D, or however you want it. Really good intervals. Sorry. If you add the B also, it's going to be nice. Right? G. Right? That's how I see it. And actually, maybe the guitar player also did that. Also see it like that. Melodic. At the same time, easy to, for your brain to process. Is that one? You're memorizing notes. That's the first part. And then after that, we'll be focusing on the basic E minor pentatonic. Okay, or G major pentatonic, but that's the first position of the E minor pentatonic. Just focusing on that. Right, that bend. All in the E minor pentatonic. Like that one, that's on the second position of the E minor pentatonic. And then going back to the first position of the pentatonic. So what's good with the solo is actually not the scale itself, because the scale is just basic E minor pentatonic. I always tell my students it's not about the scales, because the scale that I know also. I already taught you, I would tell my students, I already taught you the scales. All the scales you know already. But the thing is, the difference is actually the phrasing and how you phrase those notes. Hello to Alan Watts. Good day to you. So it's all about the phrasing. We know the same pentatonics, but how come, using the pentatonics with this solo sounds really good, is because of the phrasing. So it's how we practice phrasing. So my students, that's what we focus on. Even if you have only 3 notes, if you have 2 notes, 1 note, 5 notes, doesn't matter. It's how you execute it. It's how you subdivide the notes. So that rhythmic subdivision is what we call like the phrasing. Okay, it's more than that. It's rhythmic subdivision is just like 8 notes, 16 notes. Now phrasing comes with feeling also. It comes with how you execute the notes. It comes with like, is it going to be bend? It's going to be slide or whatever, right? So different techniques. So it's that's the phrasing. You can do it like this, right? Or you can do it like. So not only that subdivisions of 8 note ta 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 ta. It's not just about that. You can do like, right? You can do bend or you can do slide, or you can do hammers. There's so many ways to do it. So that's the difference. Looking at this solo, it's good. It's a really good solo. I like the solo, um, but it's just pentatonic. Second position, first position, first position, second position, third position, fourth, and finish on that third or second position. So it's just pentatonic all throughout. Maybe an additional of that F sharp and C, because pentatonic is 5 notes, and what's missing is just the note C and F sharp, and just passing on those notes, like, and also this one, right at the ending. So now we were talking about G major scale. But anyways, most of the notes and the solos are pentatonic, and it's just how we phrase the notes, those notes. And like I said from the start, this part, I can even look at this as just pentatonic here, third position of the pentatonic, and then it goes to the fifth position. So third position, fourth position, and fifth position, because it's just G and D note. You can look at it like a pentatonic, and then it jumps on the second position of the pentatonic, and then it stays on the first position. Hello to Ida Marie Barbs. Thank you for watching. And then second position, first position, back, second position, third position, fourth, fourth position, this one, and then goes to third position. Alright? So that's the position, just pentatonic and a bit of a major scale there. Now, this is what I'm talking about. The solo is good, it's nice. Now, even if you know the pentatonic, and your phrasing is like this, I call that Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It sounded like, it does, even if you have that pentatonic, but if you don't know how to phrase, it sounds bad. It sounds bad. Like, big time. So how can you make it more interesting when you're doing that, like what he did there, or like the guitar player did it, and learning how to phrase. So I'll be teaching you guys more of that soon. Thursday, I think it's a good time to teach you like phrasing, how you practice phrasing. Hello to Marvin Galano. Good evening, there, wherever you are. So because that what makes beautiful solo. But the start, just to give you an idea, if you want to create your own solos, the best way is really listen to the backing track, and you know already that this in G major scale or E minor pentatonic, and then sing those melodies. I don't know if I can sing it now. Know some melodies, but sing any melody. So simple like that. So and then find that on your scale, right? It's just pentatonic. So I just play G, B, D, D, right? It's actually just the G arpeggio there. And then you put that on your solo, right? And secondly, once you get that melody down, which is the simple melody that I just did. Secondly, is like how will you phrase it, or how will you the subdivisions already there, but how you will execute it, right? There's so many ways you can execute that. So what I did is we can do it like that. We can do it like this, right? So it's all slide, or we can do it. We can do some bend. We can do two bends. So that's how we make it more like creative or more interesting, right? So we have that melody, we just sang that melody, and then we think about like how we will execute those notes, and that will make a big difference on your solo. Like, right, that's the notes, first one, and you do it like this. Right? Slide, bends. Pinch harmonics with bends. You see, even that simple idea, if you really put it into details of how you will work on those notes. So it's not just about learning the notes and the scales. Even if you know that, like I've said, it doesn't stop there. And that will not make it like you know everything, or you can do it and it will sound good. That's what I'm saying. You really need to put the details of how to execute it, how to am I going to use a vibrato, am I going to use a tremolo, whatever. Okay, so even with that simple, will I put a vibrato or no? Then I put a vibrato on the second part, and that's how you build it up. What if I put another line there? Let's see. Okay. So it's just pentatonic also. So I'm focusing on the pentatonic. Right, so we have. Or we can do it. So I had like a gap there. So still you can do it together like, or you can do it gap. Alright. Now it's basic subdivisions of note and phrasing, but if you will make it more interesting in terms of those gaps that I did and the techniques that we're going to be using, let's see if we can make it nice. So simple, but so then we made those notes, those simple notes, simple phrasing, simple subdivision. We made those notes more interesting. You're giving life to those notes. So like what how they did it here, it's more about not just the notes, but how you subdivide the notes, rhythmic subdivisions or phrasing. What makes the solo really beautiful? It's just spend the thought. Even that first part, right? Those slides and those rests, right? That, but if you play it like, doesn't even sound, good. So how they execute it. Then going just here, pentatonic. If I play it like that, it will not, sound nice. But he did. Uh, Hopefully the guitar player is a guy. I don't know. I'm not sure who did that. Right? He bent it on that 14th fret, like what I'm talking about earlier. We played this, but I did this. I bent it somewhere to make it more interesting. So he bent it on the second, but you can just do like, or, right? But that sound good compared to, right? So yeah, phrasing, execution is everything when you're creating solos. When we're talking about solos, yeah. So um, not only copying solo. So when you copy solos, really learn how the solos are like executed, how it's praised, and then try to, you know, create your own or improvise with those ideas. If I'll do it here with those ideas, the first one is just working on that arpeggios, which is like GBD, right? So Alan Castro, hello, and Monroe, hello. Welcome here. Magsaysay Lorian, welcome here at my live stream. So if you work on that, the first part, all right. So I'm just targeting that because you targeted the GD, right? GBD targeted. So maybe I can do that as well with G, B, G, B, just like that. Or I can change, positions like this. All right. Just copying, the notes, and then I'll place it on my own way. But now I'm focusing on those notes that he chose. Let's see. Right? So it sounds different, but in a way, sound the same. You know what I mean? So knowing that, on the second part, he did that pentatonic. Like those licks. Okay. So I'll try to copy that as well. And I'll do it in the first position. But I'll change it a bit, maybe doing something like those common like bluesy style of E minor licks, right? But what I'm teaching you here, guys, it's really when you study solos, not just like numbers. Oh, I have to go to the fifth. Then I have to go to the eighth. You really look at it like in a way you're doing the solo and understanding how the solo was written or was created, and then make it your own, and then try to improvise on it, and you will see that it's going to be much better when you're studying solos. So again, I'll do this. Then, right? Then it goes to like second position, so I'll go also on the second position. Right? And then I also know that C going to C minor, so I'll hit that E flat. Okay, because that's again I told you in the beginning, it's a borrowed note, it's a borrowed chord. It's not included in the G major, so that's something outside of the G major scale. That E flat from the C minor chord. So I'll try to target that one. This is just improvised, but I will be really conscious about how the chord progression is going. So that's one important thing. You have to really listen how the chord progression is moving. And then from there, I will hit that E flat. And let's see how it works, okay? Then this second position. Then it goes this, that E flat, then back again in the first position. You see what I did there? So I just hit that, it's going to that C minor, I hit that E flat, and then it gives that different flavor into it. They didn't do it, they just stayed on the pentatonic. But hopefully you're seeing what I'm teaching you right now, like how you create those solos just by simply understanding how the original solo was created, and then try to, in a way, replicate it or put it in your own solos. Because at the end of the day, it's all about your solo. Right? You can cover all the solos in the world, like what I'm doing in my channel. But the focus is really what you can do from that understanding or from that knowledge. It's all about you. Copying so many people already, played the solos, and you're just copying solo from someone else. But if it's time that you need to create your own solo with your band or your own composition, that's the challenge. So if you don't understand what I'm talking about right now, you won't be able to do it. Okay? You'll be stuck with the same old, phrases, usually 8 notes, and just try it. And every time you do improvise, you don't know what to do. You're like stuck, and you're always doing the same licks that you're doing every time, right? So this is one way of breaking that. Learning the solo, understand the solo, and try to, in a way, fuse it with your own style. Like what we're doing right now, right? Blues scale. Second position, you went there. I'll go to that E flat. First position again. Fifth. Alright. And then he goes to that fourth position, so I went up. And I'm just improvising with the idea of how they created the solo, and just following that, as a guide at first, okay? So it's a good exercise for you to work on. Hopefully, you got something out of this lesson. So we have Daniel Grimas. Hi, the Dark Knight soundtrack, please. I'm not doing any requests now, maybe on Thursday. Today, we're focusing on Tiffany, If Love Is Blind, okay? And then teaching you guys how you can create your own solo. Like this one, we're always focused on covering solos and playing solos of other people or playing other people's music, which is okay. But hopefully with this lesson, I shared something like, yes, it's good to do covers, but make sure when you do covers that you're not just playing it by numbers, and the focus is not just only playing it, but really understanding the solo, making it your own, and with that knowledge, you can actually improvise or create your own solo, what I'm doing right now. So this is gonna be like endless. Every time I play this backing track, I have that in mind. If I want to copy it, or I want to add something, I can do intervals or whatever, right? So what if I do something like that? improvising there, like, and I didn't even like follow how the solo was really made. Just improvising on a G major scale there, waiting for that C minor also to target that E flat, and some scalar runs, that I learned from other solos as well. So you see, that's what I'm saying. So that when it's time that you have to, when your band's say, okay, do the solo here on your own solo, you're not like, what will I do now? Because you don't have any understanding. You're just doing covers. Okay, so now you can really look at the covers and then, okay, so this is how they do it. This is the scale. Oh, this is the chord progression. This is the theory behind it. Oh, it's good if we're doing slide there. Oh, it's good if we're doing bend there. If you know what I mean. So hopefully it helps you, and you get something out of this lesson. Thank you so much for watching here on YouTube. I'll be back on Thursday for some more theories, maybe about soloing and improvisation, about phrasing maybe. So hope to see you again next time here on YouTube. Same time. My time, Prague time, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know what time it's going to be there in your place. If you're in the Philippines, it's going to be 8 o'clock. If you're in the US, so I'm ahead of 6 hours. So it's going to be like 8 o'clock in the morning, if I'm not mistaken, in your time. If you're in Europe, of course, we're going to have the same time. So I'll see you guys again. And be safe and rock on, guys. Bye bye. Thank you.